Good afternoon, everybody. Time to cook something. And today we're making some Thai curry, red curry with vegetables and some tofu. I know you've probably had Thai curry before, maybe not with vegetables. It's common to have it with different kinds of meats, although I've had it in restaurants using vegetables. Sometimes the curry can be a little bit oily. I have had that where they've used a lot of oil in making it, so I can kind of see it all floating on the top, and since I don't use oil, that's kind of discouraged me from going to Thai restaurants and ordering curry. And then the other thing that happens is I like to order it with tofu. So I'll look on their menu and they'll have tofu as a protein. But then the tofu they use is a deep fried tofu. So I don't really like that. It tastes okay, but it's not really what I want. So then I've asked for plain tofu before. And so then I'll get the curry and it will have lots of vegetables, and then it'll have this white pieces of unflavored tofu in it. And nah, that's not very good. Let's see, somebody's asking a question already. So excited for this one. And that is Carol, or I don't know how to pronounce her name, Coral, but thank you for watching. So that's why I like to do my own red curry, because I can control the ingredients. I don't have to use any oil. I can make the sauce however I want it. I can make it with any kind of plant milk. So it's really a great way to make something that's customizable to your specific choices. And also I can choose what I put in as vegetable. So it depends on what I have. I don't have to follow somebody else's recipe. So like for today, I had some broccoli, which is not in a lot of Thai curry, but I'm going to use the broccoli because I have it. I have some red bell pepper, which is left from something I made in the last day or so. I'm sure you saw me make it. It was my Thai peanut noodle salad thing, noodles. I have carrots. I have a lot of carrots. I have mushrooms. So I have crimini mushrooms. They're kind of big. They almost look like, portobello size, but they're supposed to be small portobello mushrooms. So I have those. Have a jalapeno pepper. And I was supposed to use an onion, but instead I was out working in the garden this morning and I found some nice spring onions are in there. So I got one of these spring onions, so I'll be using that instead of regular onion. And I had found a little one too. These are from last year. And then I have some fresh lime, a jalapeno pepper, I think I showed you that, some Fresno chili. So it's, if you could see this, and I think you can, it's super colorful. So somebody else is on, so excited for this one. Hi Julia, looking forward to this one. So Mary, Carolyn, hi everybody, thanks for watching another video. So I'm excited to do this one too because I've been craving Thai food. And my experience with getting Thai food for takeout is I really like it, but then afterwards I look at the dishes and everything and it's kind of covered with oil. I found one Thai restaurant, hi PJ, I found a Thai restaurant in town that will make it without oil, and I had mixed results. One time it was pretty good, but then the next time I went and their version of no oil Thai food it didn't have any taste. It was kind of bad. So I'm going to say hi to everyone before I get started. Cindy Lee, first video. Well, I hope you enjoy it. We're going to get started. And like I said, I'll look at the comments a little bit later as I can. But, I know you're watching. And if I don't comment on your comment during the live presentation, I do go back and read all the comments. And sometimes I watch the video, even though it's painful, because I'm trying to improve my performance or my, the quality of things. So I go back and look at it to see how I'm doing. All right, so first we're going to get our vegetables prepared. We're going to cut everything up and put it in a bowl. So I've got the bowl off to the side, and you're going to see what I'm cutting. I've got to kind of put it out of the way so I can get it going. I'm going to start with the onion. The recipe called for about a half a cup of regular onion, just like a white onion. But as I said earlier, I have these really nice spring onions in my garden. Get my trash bowl here. So So I'm going to go ahead and use them because I know they're going to taste really good. Something in my eye. Okay, that's better. And I'm going to start heating my pan up too because I don't want it to be cold when we get started. That's the secret to cooking without oil, is you have to start with a hot pan. And cooking with oil is really easy. So when people say they can make anything taste really good and they're cooking with oil, it's because, you know, it's easy. Put oil in the pan, you can cook anything, it tastes fine. It's not the same when you're cooking oil-free. It's harder to make things taste really good. We have to develop the flavors, and that just takes a little bit more effort. And we have to be sure to cook everything too. So it's not just about cooking without oil. My experiences with cooking without oil are that sometimes people cook the food without any oil, but they don't cook it long enough, and it has a very bitter or almost a raw taste, especially with their onions and their garlics and their garlic. So the first thing I'm going to do, speaking of onion and garlic, is I'm cutting the onion and garlic. So I've got my spring onion from the garden, and I've got 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to peel them. Well, these are peeled already, so I guess I cheated a little bit. This one isn't though, so I'm peeling one. To peel garlic, for those of you who don't know, the easiest way to do it is to take your knife and put all your weight on your knife and kind of smash it. And when you do that, then you just kind of cut the little end and the peel comes right off. It works every time. Some people take the garlic and they shake it in a bowl and all the peels come off. Well, that works too, but then you have to get out a bowl and some other stuff. So if you know me, you've been watching my videos, the less stuff that I have to mess with, the better off I am. I don't like to get out, you know, lots of different gadgets and tools and things to mess with because I prefer to keep it simple. I'm going to turn that down. I can feel that pan's getting hot. So I'm going to kind of mince the garlic. I don't want any giant pieces of garlic, but it doesn't have to be grated or anything because, you know, we want to know the garlic's in our dish. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to set my ginger and garlic, my garlic and onions aside here. And I'm going to start cutting up some of the other things. Got to make sure I get everything in here. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and grate my ginger too while I'm thinking about it. I have a piece of ginger. It needs about an inch piece. I'm going to peel it. This is my last little piece of ginger. I'm starting to get worried because I don't want to go to the store and I might need ginger. I have some in the freezer, so I'm good. But I like to use it fresh. So I'm trying an experiment where I'm trying to regrow ginger from a piece of ginger. So I have a little plate and I put a piece of ginger in it and some water, and it's a shallow kind of a thing, and I've been, you know, letting it work, and it's growing. It's growing little knobs of ginger. So I was so excited about that. I tried celery and scallions, and those are growing too. So I've got a bunch of different, on my hands. I'm grating this ginger. I have a lot of science projects going now. I've never really been much for doing that, but it seems like now that I've got more time on my hands to do those kind of things, I'm going to try them. There are books out called How to Regrow Vegetables from Vegetable Scraps. So guess what? I ordered one. So that's going to be good. All right, so I got my ginger grated really nicely. It's coming along. It's not something you can do that quickly, but I think I have enough, and so I'm just gonna, here's how I get the ginger out of the grater. I slap it down, and then you'll see that I have a huge amount of ginger. So, you know, you don't have to be fancy, just slap it down, and all your ginger, your grated ginger will fall right out. Okay, so I've got that. I've got my red bell pepper. Now I have heard that if you took this part of the red bell pepper and just went out to your garden and threw it in the garden, you'd grow red bell pepper plants. So I'm going to try that because as soon as I get done with this video, I have got to go back outside because I have been transporting huge wheelbarrows full of dirt from a pile in the front of my house to the garden. Now, I thought I was going to have help doing it, but my help kind of got sick on me, so now, not coronavirus, but asthma. So it looks like I'm gonna be stuck doing it. So it's hard work. And then my husband is building the trellis. We put together, I can see it from here, we put together this huge, over 6 foot tall trellis for the cucumber plants that we're about to plant this week. Because when cucumbers, they grow on a vine, and they have to have something to wrap around, and they get really heavy. Like last year, the contraption I built, it was like a wire fence on some T-posts. Well, the cucumbers got so heavy, and so what I did was, here, let me show you, I cut the red bell peppers into strips. But the cucumbers got so heavy that the fence just fell, and so I had to start all over this year. All right, so we've got the red bell peppers. Let's see, what kind of pans do you use? Hello from Blanco. Hi, Sharon. These are Calphalon. My skillet is a Calphalon skillet. I've had it for quite a while. I may get some different pans eventually because the Calphalon doesn't have the best reputation for staying completely solid and not flaking off at some point. This one's okay, but I've got some others that I haven't been using. So if you have a recommendation for a pan, let me know. I've researched it a lot and I see a lot of different ones, so it's hard to decide. So since I sort of julienne the bell pepper and cut it into matchstick pieces, I'm going to do the same with the carrot. But to save time, I'm going to use my julienne slicer. I use it all the time. It's progressive. It's from Amazon. It wasn't very expensive, and I have my cut-resistant glove, everybody. I always have to tell you, don't use a mandolin without some protection because you can cut yourself. So I'm just kind of going down in a smooth motion with my carrots, and I'm kind of rotating the carrot as I go because that allows me to get all of it. And I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. It's just if I were to do this with these 2 carrots, you'd be watching me for a long time. Now when it gets to about that size, guess what I do? That's when I eat it. That's my snack, because I don't want to get it too close for comfort. And here's how it looks. It just looks like matchstick carrots. I'll put them in with the bell peppers. So I got one more carrot to do. But you know, they're not perfect. But remember, if you're like me, I'm working on my yard. I've got all kinds of chores to do around here. I've got to get back outside. I don't want to spend all day making perfect little vegetable cuts. It's not a cooking competition. Okay, there, I'm stopping there because even though I have a cut-resistant glove, it's not a cut-proof glove, so you can still cut yourself. But the nice thing about these is kind of a thick thing, you know, it's not going to immediately cut you. It will take a while before it gets through that glove, so it gives you a little bit of a grace period, I guess you could say. So there's my bell pepper, carrots, and I'm going to also use some broccoli. I have these beautiful organic broccoli heads. So even if broccoli is not the typical ingredient for Thai curry, I don't care. I'm still going to use it because I like it. It's not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to save the bottoms because I save all this kind of stuff for my stir fries. If you watched my video earlier, I had a video last week and it was my master stir fry video. And that uses all kinds of vegetables. So anytime I have vegetable scraps that can be used for a stir fry, I just save them for a few days and use them. And in fact, a lot of the vegetable scraps that I had from the last couple weeks, I used to make vegetable stock that I'm going to use in this recipe. See, we have Pam is watching again. Hi Pam, thanks for watching all these videos. I'm sure by now you're getting to the point where it would be easy for you to skip them. Okay, so another thing that I'm going to add is mushrooms. I have 2. These are crimini mushrooms. They're supposed to be small, like baby portobello mushrooms, but they're kind of big, so I'm only using 2. Mushrooms are not a common ingredient in Thai curry, in this kind of curry, but that's all right. I've seen mushrooms in Thai curry before, and I like mushrooms. And they also, I'm going to cut them in half because they're so big. They're also kind of the meaty element. You know, they give you the sense that you're eating something that's kind of got the umami of meat. I cut the end of the stems off. You don't have to cut all the stems off, but the bottom of mushroom stems can be kind of dark brown and they don't look the best, so sometimes I just cut them off. Mushrooms are supposed to be one of those superfoods now. There's been a lot of talk about how great mushrooms are for you. I think in the Dr. Greger's new book, How Not to Diet, he says to eat mushrooms every day. I'm sorry, Dr. Greger. It's really hard for me to eat mushrooms every single day. I don't love them that much, but I'll do my best. I'm going to put jalapeno pepper in here because I like it spicy. Now, if you don't want to put a whole sliced jalapeno pepper in your curry, just don't. Just leave it out. But I know that my husband will eat it because he likes it really spicy. So I'm going to put it in there. And I just sliced them into 1/4-inch slices. Nothing that precise. Now I have another thing here. I have a whole head of lacinato kale, dinosaur kale. I left one leaf so you could see it's kind of the leathery looking kale. And I stripped it off. I'm going to go ahead and add my onions and stuff while we're talking, so give it a little start here. So the pan's hot, I can feel it, so I'm going to add my onions and garlic right now. So I stripped the kale off the stems, so I have the stems here. I'm not going to use the stems right now. I could use them for stock, so I'll set them over here with my other stuff. These are some more stems. And then what I did was I just kind of sliced them thinly. Now, Pam Belnowski, who's watching, doesn't like this kind of kale, I don't think. I think I made it in one of her dishes and she wasn't real crazy about it. So don't put this kale in your Thai curry. I'm adding it to mine because I'm always trying to sneak kale or greens into my food, spinach, whatever, because I think it tastes really good. So that's why I'm going to sneak it into the Thai curry. I can smell my onions cooking with the garlic, and it's almost to the point where, you know, in a minute or two I'm going to add something else because I don't want them to burn. But what I do is I have a dry pan, and then you can see I'm kind of doing my reverse screen now, so it's taking me a time to get used to it. But you can see that the onions are starting to get a little brown, and you have to be careful when they get to that point because they can go from a little bit of brown to being burnt in no time. So this is about the time where I see things are starting to brown that I say, oh, I better add some liquid. So I have some vegetable stock. I'm just going to add a couple spoonfuls in there. Ooh, sorry about that. See how hot my pan is? You need your pan to be hot to cook your food when you're not using oil. I just can't emphasize that enough. I'm going to throw my ginger in now. The biggest mistake that I see people making when they're making their plant-based, no oil dishes is they don't heat their pan up enough. I'm heating it back up now. They don't heat their pan up enough, and their food comes out just very, I don't know how to say, but it doesn't have any caramelization. Somebody's asking a question. You make it look so easy. Well, no, PJ. Janie Franklin is watching. Hi, Janie. So then now I'm going to throw in my other vegetables. So my onion is cooked a little bit. I've put some liquid in here, and the liquid is already cooked down. So the liquid's already cooked out a little bit. I'm going to be adding some more. But for now, I'm going to add all my vegetables because I want to cook these vegetables for a couple of minutes, you know, while we're working on some of the other ingredients. So I'm going to let the vegetables start to cook. But I don't want to overcook the vegetables because we want them to be vibrant and bright and green and orange and red. And I'm not putting the kale in until later. All right, so the kale is going to sit over here. So while this is starting to cook, I'm going to start making the sauce and the other ingredients, or start adding the other ingredients here in a minute. Get my instructions, so I'm doing this the way I'm going to tell you to do it. So I have my vegetables in here, and they're cooking, and I'm going to let them cook for about 3 minutes. So the key to cooking vegetables in my style is I get them kind of hot brown or, you know, golden by having a high heat pan, which it is now. You could see my flame. You can't really see it, but it would be, I would call it medium high, so it's pretty high because I want it to really cook these vegetables. And then I'm going to add a half a cup of my stock. Meet my measuring. I'm going to go ahead and add a half a cup of my vegetable stock. You could also use water. I have vegetable stock because I made some. Like I was telling you, I have all these vegetable scraps. So last night I took all my vegetable scraps, everything from carrots and celery to onions. I had a leek. I had, I can't even remember all the things I had, but all the things that we've been making, I had all these little scraps that I had been saving, zucchini. And so I threw them all in a pot with water covered by about 2 inches, brought it to a boil, cooked it for about 30 minutes. And then I had this really delicious stock. I strained it with a strainer, and now I have it made 2 of these quarts of vegetable stock. I don't have to buy it. It doesn't have any salt. It's perfect. Okay, so now this is cooked, my mushrooms, it's cooked carrots. I can tell because they're softer than they were. But in order to cook it even more, for about 3 minutes, I'm going to cover it with the lid. So I know that's going to be ready in 3 minutes. So I don't have anybody here with me to keep time for me, so I'm going to have to depend on myself, and that's kind of scary because it's easy for me to start talking and not remember to do it. But I'm going to get my sauce ingredients, and we're going to talk about the sauce. Okay, so with red curry sauce, if you were making it from scratch and making the real thing, we wouldn't be using this. We're using this Thai Kitchen red curry paste. And it's a good product. It's vegan. It doesn't have any fish products in it, and a lot of Thai seasoning blends do have dried shrimp paste and things, so be sure to look on the label. So there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, we could use made from scratch red chili paste, but I want to tell you from my Thai cookbook, if we wanted to make our own red curry paste from scratch, we would have to use shallots, garlic, galangal, which is kind of like a gingery thing, lemongrass, fresh lemongrass, cilantro roots, peppercorns, ground turmeric, shrimp paste, and then we can leave out the shrimp paste, don't worry about that. I've made this before from scratch. Then we would take all those things and we would pound them. We would pound them in this thing. Like, we would just have to, it would take 20 minutes or longer to pound it into a paste. We could do it in the food processor, but the food processor does not make them as good. Veggie curry. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for attending. What brand of pans? Oh, I already answered that. Okay, so that's why we're using this, because I'm trying to show you recipes that are manageable. You know, I know that if you're busy, you've got things going on. I don't see most people going to the trouble of making Thai curry paste from scratch. I have made it. I made red curry, green curry, yellow curry paste, and taught Thai cooking classes here in my cooking classroom. So I've made them before and they're pretty good. Okay, I actually remembered my 3 minutes is up. I'm doing well. I don't even have anybody here to help me. All right, so if you could see this and taste it, you would see that everything is still brightly colored. The broccoli is nice and bright, and I want to make sure that I don't overcook it, because one of the worst things that people do is they cook their broccoli until it's this horrible dark green color, and then it doesn't taste very good. So don't cook your broccoli to death. So we're just going to leave it like that, and we're going to start adding the other ingredients. So we're going to add coconut milk. Now I have 3 kinds of coconut milk, and you could use any of these. I have a light coconut milk. This is a lower calorie, lower fat, has about less than maybe 1/3 of the fat of the full coconut milk. I'm not using that one. I usually use that one, but I'm not using it today. Let me take this off the stove. I have full-fat coconut milk, which is the one I'm using, because I feel like it and because I know it's going to taste good. And I wanted a rich, authentic red curry. This one is organic coconut milk, full fat, but it has no guar gum. And I bought it by mistake, and I hope I can take it back. I think I got it at Sprouts, so I'm not going to worry about taking it back now, but I heard that no guar in the coconut milk is not very tasty. If you don't want to use coconut milk, then you can use cashews and make your own cashew milk, cashew cream, whatever you want to call it. Or you could use almond milk, or you can even use soy milk. Not everybody wants to use coconut milk for whatever reason. They just don't like it. It's not something they're familiar with. Bonnie Olson, hello, looks interesting. Thank you, Bonnie. Thanks for watching my videos. I've seen your name pop up many times, and I want you to know I do appreciate it. Okay, so I've got this coconut milk, trying to get the lid off without cutting myself. And I'm just going to dump this whole can. Oh, easier said than done. Let me get a spoon. I'm going to dump this whole can of coconut milk. Look how creamy that is. My goodness. So you see why somebody might not want to use it, because it is very rich looking. It does have this real creaminess to it. You can see it. But it's going to cook down some. So I'm mixing it in with my nice vegetables, my broccoli, carrots, bell peppers, mushrooms, jalapeno peppers, my spring onions from the garden that were so beautiful, that came up from last year. I'm so happy that they did. And I still need to add more ingredients. I'm going to add some, I think I have enough vegetable stock for now. I'm going to add a couple spoonfuls of my turbinado sugar. Let's see, I have to make sure I put what I'm telling you. 1.5 teaspoons. So this is a cane sugar, organic cane sugar, and that's just going to, give it this little bit of sweetness. I'm going to put a tablespoon of tamari. Tamari is sort of a rich version of soy sauce, and it has a really good taste. It tastes like soy sauce, but it's like soy sauce's richer sister or brother, if you will. It just has a little bit more flavor. We're going to put 1 tablespoon in there. We don't want to make it too salty, but if you want to add more tamari, tamari's fine, you can add more. All right, so we've got the tamari. Now we're going to add some fresh lime juice. So where did I see my lime? Here it is, right here. So I've got my lime. I'm going to cut it over here. Sorry, out of sight. And I'm going to squeeze the lime juice in here. I've got this really nifty tool, and it works with, you press it. You see it? And the lime juice comes right out. It's very efficient. Here, you can see it now. It very efficiently gets a lot of lime juice out. And this was one of those chef-in products. And they use it at, there's a restaurant in our town called Go-Go Gumbo that had cooking classes, and I took some of the cooking classes, and that's the tool they use, and so I got that. Let's see if there's any more questions. Could you use coconut sugar instead? Oh yeah, of course. You could use coconut sugar, maple sugar, whatever you have, whatever you like. Okay, I'm going to put my Thai curry paste in here now. I need 2 tablespoons of that. So that's not going to fit in there. Let me get a skinnier spoon. So 2 tablespoons. I'm kind of eyeballing it, but I know what 2 tablespoons looks like. And again, this is the jar from Thai Kitchen of red curry paste. You can get this right now, when it's hard to get out and go buy things. That's something that you can buy online pretty easily. I'm sure that most places, Amazon, some people can use Whole Foods online. There's so many different markets now where you can order gourmet products. So yeah, you could probably easily get this Thai curry paste. So I could see it starting to turn a beautiful color. You can kind of see up here. It's getting kind of a nice, doesn't really get bright red. It's more of an orange, I would say. And we'll put a pinch of salt in there too. I think a pinch of salt would be good. All right. Now another thing that I'm going to add that is not typical, and I talked about it a little bit in the beginning, is I'm going to be adding some tofu. Why am I adding tofu? Well, because if you remember, a couple of days ago, we made tofu in our peanut sesame noodle salads. And I made a whole batch of it, and I didn't use it because I had the peanut butter tofu as well. So when I was thinking of putting tofu in this dish, I realized I had some already. So I'm gonna put that in there. I'm just gonna cut it, I'm gonna cut it in half and cut each half in half. If you've heard me say that once, you've heard me say that 100 times, so that I have all these pieces that are exactly the same size. And I put those in. So that gives our delicious curry an even meatier presence, because it has, not only does it have the wonderful mushrooms in there, but it has this addition of tofu. Okay, so I've got that in there. Oh, it's starting to get thicker. I can tell. I've raised the heat to get it to cook a little bit. Now I'm going to add the kale. Okay, now some of you are going to say, oh, why did you ruin it with that kale? I didn't ruin it with the kale. The kale is good for us. And like most things, leafy things, the kale will cook down. I promise you it will cook down, and it will make your dish so nice and good for you. And I really like the taste of this kind of kale. I guess I've gotten used to it. But for those of you who might not be kale lovers, I didn't add all of it so that it's not overpoweringly kale-y. And because I didn't overcook my broccoli, it's still doing fine. It's still bright green. But I'm not going to cook this much longer because I want it to stay that color. All right, so I think I have all my ingredients in. I think I've got everything. Let me double check. I can simmer this for about 5 minutes. That's all it needs. It doesn't need a long time, because if you overdo it, then you're going to end up with overcooked vegetables. Because we're using vegetables in our dish, you know, we don't really need to cook it for a long time. We don't have meat in here. So now what are we going to do to serve it? Well, I have jasmine rice that I made in my rice cooker. It's over here where you can see it. I have this handy. It's a Zojirushi Neuro Fuzzy rice cooker that I've had forever. And I have an Instant Pot as well. I know some of you love to make rice in the Instant Pot, and that's fine. Because I have a rice cooker, I like to use it. Just because, why not? You have a rice cooker, you might as well use it. And I made white jasmine rice, this brand, because my husband bought it by mistake at the grocery store, so it was in the pantry. He bought it for the dog food. I make dog food for our 15-year-old dog, and I use just white rice. Let's see if there's another question. It looks fabulous. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Here's another one. Vicki, we're going to make the peanut tofu recipe this week. Great. Oh, Pam is making the sesame noodles tonight. Well, I hope you guys like those things, and take pictures of whatever you make and post them so I can see what you've made. I'll be really proud of you. Okay, so here what I've done is I've taken the rice and I've put it in this rice bowl. See how it's round and pretty? Have you ever gotten rice like that at the Thai restaurant? That's what they do. This is my granddaughter's little Hello Kitty Japanese rice bowl that I picked up at the Daiso Japanese dollar store a long time ago. I just think it's cute. And so now I'm just going to take my red curry and I'm going to pile it up next to my rice, just because I like it that way, because I want to have the sauce and my rice close together. It's going to run all over the plate probably, but we won't tell anybody. And I'm going to put a lot on here because why not? Why not have a good sized serving? If you're gonna eat, let's eat. Put some tofu on here. Yum. All right, and now we can put some condiments on here. So, well here, let me put it where you can see it. We're gonna put some condiments on here to include, just picked from my garden, cilantro. It came back from last year in my garden tower. So I'm so excited because I love cilantro, and I don't have basil yet because I haven't found any and it hasn't come up from the seeds. So normally I would use Thai basil. So I've got cilantro, and because it's Thai red chili, I'm gonna put some red Fresno chilies on it because those are beautiful and they're not super spicy, but they look cool. I know I tell you this all the time, but you know, it's for a reason. We want it to look really nice. Now, if you wanted to make it spicier, I didn't bring my sriracha in here, but we have this, and I'm not gonna put any on here because I think it's gonna be spicy enough, but we could put that on there. Let's see if we could put any other garnishes. I had written down different things we could put on there. I think that's it. I think we have enough. Jalapeno peppers, the fresh cilantro from the garden, the beautiful jasmine rice. So, in looking at this, I hope you think it's something. Let me see if there's anyone else. Hi Nancy, hi Shelly. Wow, this looks amazing, and my kids would love this. Yes, you saw we made all this. It's 3:36, so it took 30 minutes to make this delicious dish. I didn't really make anything in advance except for the rice, and that doesn't take long. So while you're still on there, just because I made this for you, I'm gonna taste it. Oh my goodness. I don't want to brag on myself, but it's utterly delicious, and it's kind of spicy. But I know, I can tell you right now that my husband is going to love this tonight. After we get in from all our yard work, we're going to sit down and we're going to all enjoy this delicious Thai red curry that we made here today in such a short period of time. And I hope you make your own and use the vegetables you have on hand. You don't have to go to the grocery store, and you can put whatever you want in it, as long as you have this little Thai sauce, little vegetable broth, some garlic, ginger, and just cook it up in your pan. You don't need any oil, you don't need anything. You just need some good vegetables and some spices, and you can have this delicious Thai curry dish in no time at all. So again, I appreciate everyone watching, and I hope you come back tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to make the delicious cauliflower walnut mushroom tacos. And I have some really great tortillas that I got at Sprouts that are almost no fat at all, but they're flour and corn, but they taste like flour tortillas. So we're going to make that tomorrow, and that is a recipe I've used to demo plant-based dishes to people in the public, and they never get over how they taste like they're some kind of meat taco. So I think that's a recipe that you might really enjoy. So stay tuned tomorrow and watch. Let's see if there's any last minute questions. I want to make this one, have to go to the store to get some things. So yeah, if you can order it online, great. If you have to go to the store, use safety precautions, wear a mask, wear gloves, wipe everything down, have hand sanitizer, wash your vegetables out in the garage before you even bring them in. Wash your vegetables with soap and water. Don't touch anything that you've brought in from the outside without using hand sanitizer. Be safe, everybody. And let's see if there's one last. I remember those tacos from the food tour. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Yeah, I actually did make those. All right, everybody, thanks again for watching. And I've got to go put my yard clothes back on and go out and move about 15 wheelbarrows full of dirt now. So I would rather be doing this, but I have to go do that if I'm going to have my wonderful vegetable garden. So I look forward to seeing you all again here tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.